And hello, welcome back to the channel. This is Maverick, and right now we're going to be watching Fairygon episode 21. So, as we are ever nearing the end of the series, we are getting a lot more information in regards to this religious cult, what exactly they were doing, what they're trying to do, and really what's just missing now is what will happen if they actually achieve their goal, right? So what is going to happen when this this prime fairy or whatever they want to call it is revived, right? Is it going to bring like the end of the earth, end of the world kind of situation? And why would this cult want that? Like, seriously, their motivations aren't actually clear yet. And is this going on, is there a more bigger overarching story here, especially in regards to Fairy Dawn, as to how fairies are, actually a sort of detriment to humankind, and perhaps that's also, going to be the consequences or the end of the series as well, where fairies and humans forever separated into two different worlds or whatnot, or is it actually going to promote a sense of inclusion and especially with Maria at the forefront, and allow humans and fairies to continue to coexist peacefully together, right? Those are all possibilities that we could go towards. Now, with that being said, last episode we left on a cliffhanger where the Prime Minister was being assassinated by the cult. Personally, I feel like that might be just misleading, and he's only going to be wounded and not actually killed, but we shall see, right? I feel like the Prime Minister is actually quite an important dude, and a pretty good dude as well, all things considered. So are they just going to kill him off like that? Don't really know. Let's find out together. Alright, let's begin in 3, 2, 1, slay. Oh yeah, and also this as well. I forgot about this. Wolfran is confronting Maria. Ooh. I mean, that is a pretty natural reaction. For someone who doesn't really want to kill anyone, Maria sure has a poor choice of weapon, right? A gun, if you want to use non-lethal means, isn't exactly the best weapon to use. Mm-hmm. Wait, really? Just like that? Yeah, that is what happened, but she's gonna be like, I want to fight. But I got you guys beside me. Who is next in line? Raydon? Yeah. He would basic. Then again, since it is a prime minister. Huh. Are they going to ask Raydon to become the prime minister? I still believe Raydon is a righteous man. Actually. He just has his own. He has his own, his own take on things. Alright, the original ferry. So they're instead going to use... Yeah, they're all at the capital right now. So he wants to do a purge? Basically, except for a select few who follow their order, they're gonna kill all the rest of all the people. Who? Someone in mind? Short on manpower? Can't be Veronica, can it? Oh, he's being escorted by Dorothea. Now, this little dude certainly has a lot of screen time, so I keep wondering if he's going to have a big role sometime later. Acting Prime Minister. Not permanent yet. Okay. Some fairies are here. Not yet. Alright. More patrolling. Okay, it's sort of like a diversionary tactic. And people, of course, are gonna be suspicious of him because, you know, it would seem like he's the main beneficiary of the prime minister dying, of Goldberg dying. Oh, okay. The colonel. All right, a little bit of heart to heart. Is he going to explain his actions now? Yeah. He ultimately distrusts fairies. That's why he's doing the things he's doing. Oh, really? Don't really. I don't know why they had to make Radon's character like this. It would have been much better if he was just a misunderstood, you know, a misunderstood person, ruthless and whatnot, but ultimately with his own version of justice. That would have made this much more interesting. Veronica is probably off to kill Prime Minister right now. Here. What is this place? Veronica's kind of like, I don't care. I just want to kill Radon. Oh, there it is. Mm-hmm. Well, it's similar to what the Einsorder is actually trying to do. Phew. Alright, alright. I think that's it. If there is a little bit more after the ending, I'll show you guys. If not, see you guys in a second. And hey, there is a little bit more after the ending. So let's watch this in 3, 2, 1, play. Oh, the Colonel? Yep, he just wants a good battle. Right, see you guys. Alrighty, that was episode 21, and I gotta say that I didn't really like the development with Radon all that much, right? Because, you know, throughout these episodes, I kept on saying that I feel like Radon is just a misunderstood character, and he's really trying to do what he believes is good for the country, good for humankind. You know, he has... but in the end here, he just did it purely out of greed, out of pride. It was a selfish reason that prompted him to burn down Suna and kill all the inhabitants in there, right? He wanted to be the only one who was very possessed, and that's what drove him to do those kinds of atrocities. So I feel like that makes his character much less compelling and much more one-dimensional in a sense, right? So originally, what I was going for was that he has this innate distrust of fairies. It might be because he grew up in Suna and he learned, he learns of the sacrificial practice that Suna is doing, and he wants to put an end to it all. He believes that fairies are destructive, they can't be tamed, so on and so forth. And because of this, later on when he actually has power, he wants to, completely get rid of all of this, right? He believes that Suna is a danger, it's a threat to humanity, and so on and so forth. And so that is why he's going in and killing, completely destroying Suna there. More of an anti-hero in a sort of sense. Should we call it anti-hero or a misunderstood hero? Basically, he's pragmatic, he's authoritarian, but still he is doing it because he believes this is what is good, right? And we can sort of see that confrontation in this episode here with the dialogue between Radon and Maria, where one believes that fairies should be distrusted, you shouldn't listen to what they say, whereas Maria is like, no, we should listen to them, we should coexist peacefully together. This sort of conflict, right? And they could have easily still let this conflict be and yet make Radon to be much more complex of a character. Instead, he's just, in a sense, really a bad guy, right? Like, he's doing this out of pure power and whatnot. And so with this kind of revelation, I'm also wondering whether or not he actually has the best intentions by coming here to become prime minister. Is he truly doing this for the good of the country, the good of the people, good of humanity? Or is this just another feather in his cap and, he's now the highest ranking official in the country, right? And, the de facto leader of this country, because the emperor is more of a figurehead, right? Now, and with this revelation, it would now be entirely justified for the anime, for the series, to kill him before the very ending, right? He could be killed in battle, being killed by one of the Ainz Order or one of the enemies, or if not directly being killed, then perhaps making it into a situation where he's offering himself as a sacrifice or whatnot, sort of like atone for his sins, that kind of storyline. And maybe he's not going to make it all the way to the end, right? Because it'd be kind of weird. And also, I mean, if they do it and break the mold, then hats off to the series, right? But a lot of times when these characters don't really have any other redeeming qualities about them, and they are a bad guy, they have done bad things, and they're making no excuses about it, they typically don't get their way in the end, right? So that's why I believe if this truly was the case, it's entirely possible that Radon would also die before the very end here, and perhaps, I don't know, Prime Minister could be taken up by Director Oler, for instance, right? Something like that. So yeah, I didn't really like the way that they portrayed Radon. Very disappointing to me in a sense, but oh well, that's what the author chose, and that's what we're just gonna have to live with. Another thing quickly mentioned is, again, in regards to the Ainz Order, like, just how ridiculous and illogical is their plan right now, right? So the entire premise right here is that they have all the other things prepared in order to try and revive this original fairy. The only thing that they're missing now is a fairy possessed person, right? And now, even going so far as to assassinate the prime minister, all for the sake of, gathering this, forcing a fairy possessed person to go all the way to the main capital where they are going to confront them there. Like, come on, it's the capital city. That's where all the military branches are, where the royal guard is. Security should be at the very highest. If they already knew that Radon was one of the fairy possessed, wouldn't it make much more sense to try and ambush him back on his territory or something like that? I don't know, like, and also for the rest of them as well, right? For Veronica and for Maria, and they're all going to the capital city, right? On paper, it seems, oh yeah, we've got them right where we want it, we know exactly where they are, and all three of them are right here. But that only makes sense if you are the superior force, you have the upper hand, and you want to consolidate these people you want to capture and prevent them from running away, right? Because you don't want to divide up your forces, you want to concentrate it on one point, and since you already know that you are on the winning side, you have the winning force, there's no reason to do anything else, just go, right? But on the other hand, if you're like the Ainz Order right now, when they're short-handed, they definitely don't have as much funds and armaments and weaponry as whatnot as the opponent, choosing to fight them head on their home turf, Like, that just feels stupid to me, right? Now, then again, the capital isn't exactly an impregnable fortress, right? We already saw demonstration of that by the colonel, who, of course, they actually enlist the help of in the very end of the episode right here. But even then, I thought it was quite ridiculous that just one fairy soldier was able to waltz his way completely into the capital, right up to the prime minister's palace, you know, right up to where all these heads of states were, and just basically have his way with the entire government, right? I thought that was pretty ridiculous as well. You know, it's a capital city, right? Like, think Washington, D.C. in a sense. The security has got to be through the roof there. It'd be much more than say, you know, like, in Washington City, the security would be much more than, say, I don't know, some like Seattle or something, or Los Angeles or something, right? Because that's just the nature of that place. You know, you have all these VIPs there, you have to do your best to protect them, and that's, I feel, the same situation here. So I don't get why they are choosing to, you know, force them all to the capital city, except for story purposes, right? So that they can all fight on this grand stage, so on and so forth, and, you know, exactly what the colonel wants, right? Having a conflict on the highest of stages with the highest of stakes. But yeah, anyways, that's what I think so far for episode 21. We're nearing the end. So the colonel is back online again. Seeing a rematch in the future, I guess. Although this time, 3 has definitely leveled up quite considerably and will probably more than be able to hold his own against the Colonel. So, yep, there we go. That is that. And I certainly do hope that they develop Raydon's character a little bit more. I would be sorely disappointed if this is just all that we get from them about him. And so there we go. That's my review. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'll see you guys next week. Ta-da!